This evening as we honor our veterans and our military men and women. This is a really exciting evening because we're doing a lot of really fun things, I think, really interesting things, very patriotic things, and I think that this is something that we all need a little shot in the arm once in a while to remind us of what a great, wonderful country we live in, and also to really honor our veterans who make all of the things that we do here in Shelbyville, Shelby County, the land of the free. We're going to have different events tonight. The very first thing, though, I would like to introduce Mayor Tom DeBaun, and he has a special proclamation for this evening.
Thank you.
All right. I'll hold it.
We'll take her behind it.
Okay. No, I'm just going to hold it, Bob. Good evening. For those of you who've been here a long time, you may remember September 11th, 2001, when after the events that happened, we as a group gathered on the circle and had a prayer vigil and a candlelight ceremony, and that, I think, created a wave of patriotism that has continued to grow and helped unify us as a community in our darkest times. And as a group, as a society and a community, we have gathered behind and supported our military personnel. And I think each and every one of us, if we've not served, we know people who have served, our parents, our brothers, sisters, etc. And we're very proud to be able to present something to them tonight. And so I have some comments here that will be serving as a proclamation. And I want to say that I did not write these. As the state of Indiana has a poet laureate, Gay McKinney is Shelbyville's poet laureate, whether she knows it or not. And so we charge her with a lot of these things, and she put down some very thoughtful words that I would like to read to you now. Traditionally, Veterans Day is when we pause to honor the servicemen and women who have taken up our nation's uniforms and worn those symbols of its defense against any and all who would assault our country. Anytime our freedom has come under attack, our best and bravest have responded with courage, duty, and resolve. Generation after generation, the United States Armed Forces have protected our republic, defended our democracy, and allowed for the continuation of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, as first framed by our founding fathers. The uniforms may change over time, but the call to duty remains the same. The dedication to the country and the sacrifice remain the same. One day, one ceremony, one proclamation could never repay the profound debt we owe, and this ceremony pales when it is compared to dangers and challenges that these brave warriors have faced, and some continue to face on a daily basis. Recognizing that, however, we will attempt to pay tribute during this first Friday of November 2014 to the patriots who have kept our union safe, who have kept it whole, and who have kept our community a great place where we can raise our children and grandchildren without fear. Thriving in these freedoms we sometimes take for granted, except during ceremonies such as this one this evening. Our debt to these noble military men and women endures long after the battle is over. Therefore, I, Tom DeBaun, Mayor of the City of Shelbyville, do hereby proclaim November 7th as the kickstart of Veterans Day 2014. Those assembled here this evening recognize our veterans' valor and sacrifice. We thank them for their service to the country and their commitment to peace and freedom, not only here in our homeland, but around the world. By this proclamation, we acknowledge our abiding respect and our heartfelt gratitude for their service, past and present. God bless America.
All right, thank you.
Join us in singing the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh my God. That's being a train. Oh my God.
After twilight's last gleaming,
Front stripes and bright stars, through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming.
And now we are very delighted to have Cliff Drody. And Cliff is with the Shelby County Veterans Service Officer. So many of you veterans probably know Cliff and have had some dealings with Cliff. And he is going to read a very famous commentary by a native Hoosier, Mr. Red Skelton. And it is a commentary on the Pledge of Allegiance. And following the Pledge of Allegiance commentary that Cliff will be reading, then all of us will join together and we will set the Guinness Book of World Records for the most people assembled to do the Pledge of Allegiance. So I now turn the microphone over to Cliff.
Thank you, and special thanks to the downtown merchants and to the mayor for honoring veterans tonight, and hopefully that this will be just the beginning of other things to come. The Pledge of Allegiance, we all know, but a few years back I heard Red Skelton, and it touched me because we do get in a habit of just saying things because we're allowed to say them. And he pointed out that when he was younger, somebody cared enough to explain the Pledge of Allegiance to him. So I will attempt to do that, and hopefully afterwards we'll have a little bit more meaning for what it actually stands for. But he starts off by saying, I, me, an individual, a committee of one, pledge, that is, dedicate all of my worldly goods to give without self-pity. Allegiance, my love and my dedication. To the flag, our standard, oh glory, a symbol of freedom. Wherever she waves, there is respect, because your loyalty has given her a dignity that shouts freedom as everyone's job. Of the united, that means that we have all come together. States, individual communities that have united into 48 great states, 48 individual communities with pride and dignity and purpose, all divided with imaginary boundaries, yet united to a common purpose, and that is to love, that is love of country, of America, and to the Republic, a state which sovereign power is vested in representatives chosen by the people to govern. And government is the people, and it's from the people to the leaders, not from the leaders to the people, for which it stands one nation, meaning so blessed by God, indivisible, incapable of being divided, with liberty, which is freedom, the right of power to live one's own life without threats, fear, or some sort of retaliation, and justice, the principle or qualities of dealing fairly with others, for all, which means boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, veterans, and family, is as much your country as it is mine. Red Skelton went on to say that 2 states have been added to our country, and 2 words have been added to the Pledge of Allegiance, under God. Wouldn't it be a pity if someone said that that is a prayer and it would be eliminated from schools? But again, the words individually means a lot, and so now we can have the Pledge of Allegiance.
Is everyone ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now if I could have our scout leaders, Mr. Dennis Gillis and Mr. Rick Walke, our scout troops are going to do a retirement of the flag. This is a very solemn ceremony, and I will let Rick explain it to you.
There are only a few groups that are allowed to retire a flag. The Scouts being one of those, the American Legion and veterans groups another. Tonight, we'll be honored here to retire a couple of our American flags. Scouts, attention. Color guard, advance. Prepare the colors.
And salute.
Our flag is a symbol of our country. Have you ever stopped to think what the flag really means? The blue in our flag stands for valor, which our ancestors fought and died for in the many battles that have been fought for our country and for all that it stands for. The white stands for the purity in all of our hearts. It also represents the honor that each of us should show in all that we do in our everyday lives. The red stands for the courage of all of the men and women who have died in the service of our country, both as members of the armed forces and as everyday citizens. Our flag has gone into every battle into which there have been United States citizens. From the American Revolution to the Civil War, to World War I, to World War II, to the Korean conflict, to the Vietnam War, to the Desert Storm. It has flown over some battles that were never declared, such as Beirut, where the Marine barracks was blown up by terrorists, and the Alfred Murrah building in Oklahoma City. In all of these, we the American people have stayed true to the values that the flag represents. We should always value the sacrifices that have been made for our flag and the country that it represents. We have an old friend here who has fulfilled his duty to our country. He's become worn and tattered, and we are here tonight to retire him with honor. We shouldn't be sad about the retirement of our friend. We are not burning him in anger. We are only releasing his spirit so that he can continue to serve us in our thoughts. Color guard, retire the flag.
I'd like to thank our American Legion for providing taps this evening. I'm speechless. I'm sorry. It is so good to see the community come together and honor our veterans and the men and women who defend everything that we take for granted every day. And we are so blessed to live in this great community. We are so blessed to live in this great country. And I appreciate so much all of you coming out this evening. We are going to have a lot of merrymaking with all the merchants. The downtown merchants are staying open this evening. And then at 8 o'clock, the Strand Theater is showing a wonderful film, a classic, one that I grew up with and have loved my entire life, starring Mr. Jimmy Cagney, James Cagney, and Yankee Doodle Dandy. That's going to be at the Strand Theater at 8 o'clock this evening. And once again, thank you all so very much for coming out. Thank you.